Get this out of here. There we go. Oh, it's better. Yeah, that's kind of it. Whatever. Let's do it. I'm Tom.
I'm Wes. Today we're taking a look at another game that technically isn't Jurassic Park, but it's totally Jurassic Park.
That was one take. That was awesome, dude. Yeah.
Done.
Dinosaur World is basically Dinosaur Island 2.0 or 1.5. Now, I've played Dinosaur Island and I've actually reviewed it. Look, here's a picture of me. Look at that. Look at that guy. What a loser. Probably wearing the same shirt or some shit. But Wes has not played Dinosaur Island, so you will hear my opinion on this as it kind of compares to Dinosaur Island. And
my fresh opinion on it.
It is fresh. Oh, Subway.
So fresh.
Subway fresh opinions.
So in this game, you are trying to each build your own, like, Jurassic Park or Dinosaur World or whatever.
Alan.
You have your park entrance, and you are building out exhibits and dinosaur cages and breeding dinosaurs. And at the end of your turn, you drive people on a tour through your park. And that's how you make your money, is based on how excited they get through that. All the while earning victory points based on which buildings you build, what kind of dinosaurs you get, etc. While also trying to balance your security with the amount of, like, risk that you're taking, and also dealing with all the people that are dying in your park every day.
Yep, yeah. And if you've played Dinosaur Island, a lot of the core sort of steps to the round make a lot of sense. It's very similar. You gain DNA, use that DNA on to make dinosaurs. You'll have a paddock, right, where you can put 4 dinosaurs, and the cost is on there, and they get a little bit more expensive, and maybe a little bit more points each one you have, and they have danger associated with them. There's the herbivores, small carnivores, and large carnivores that get more and more dangerous. You have your danger tracker, and then your security tracker. You need that to be the same. This one adds an additional track, which is the Jeeple Tour, because this one is a bit more of a tile placement game than the other one is. And in fact, the other one's more of a straight worker placement game. This one, we were talking about this, the first thing you do is you draft worker meeples, but these feel more like a resource than like a worker, kind of.
Like, it does workery things where you put it on a place and do a thing. Any meeple can pretty much do anything, but certain meeples get a bonus and can do the thing cheaper or can get more things for it. So you're I'm almost never going to get a green guy and put him at the place where the blue guy gets a bonus. I'll either put a blue guy there or a white guy there.
Yeah.
And, like, save the green guys to getting my money.
But they more felt like resources that you're spending, because there's public actions and private actions. And the public actions, okay, sure, I want to get this thing before you do, but it's not so much, I want to get that spot. It's like, I want to buy that tile.
It's definitely I want to buy it before you buy it, than like, I want to block you by going here. Now you can't buy tiles here. It's just like, no, I bought that tile first.
I know it's hard to explain, but it feels less like a worker placement, more like a spending of resources. Yeah. And even on your own board, you just allocate all these little resources. This one's going to go here, 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 here. Okay, cool. I'm going to trigger all of them, gain all the stuff. So whatever. I mean, that's fine. That's just the way I felt about it. I was like, this isn't really worker placement, is it? But then you do your Jeeple Tour, where you take your little Jeeple, which, by the way, why is it called a Jeeple and not a Jeep? These aren't called Dino-eeples, right? These are called dinosaurs.
Yeah.
It's a stupid semantic thing, but why? Like, it's in the rules and everything. Anyways, but you move them around to each of the tiles, and you trigger them individually and in an order, so their placement matters a lot more. Even in the review I did for Dinosaur Island, I was saying, it's not really tile placement at all. Like, you have this grid, and you put these tiles out, but where you put them out almost doesn't matter. The only thing you don't want to do is block it out so that, I don't have enough space to put this bigger tile, and that's pretty much it. Here, that is obviously not the case. It feels also kind of unnecessary.
Yeah, that was one of the things that I didn't care for so much, was between, like, the Jeeple Tour and the building out of the tiles. It's so important to make good decisions, like, throughout the game. Like, if you just, like, buy a tile that's kind of, like, whatever, maybe I want it, maybe I don't, and then it's just kind of worthless, that can set you back so far, because, like, every resource you spend is a pretty big deal. Like, you only have the 9, like, workers, and spending those to go do things, like, you never, like, I have too many workers. What am I going to do with this guy?
Yeah, you're always very tight.
It's very tight, so if you buy the wrong thing or put it in the wrong place, it's a consequence that's going to last the whole game. And then, like, because your Jeeple Tour is so short until you can get that track up, it can be like, okay, well, I have to go through this tile to get to that one because I put it in this... Like, to me, that was definitely a negative that kept coming back, was poor planning and poor structure, especially against other people who have played and like know a little bit more about what they're doing, definitely like it sets you back pretty far.
But also there's a time when we were looking at Will's board. We're like, wow, look at all those tiles he has. I'm like, yeah, but his Jeepo track's only at 4. He can only trigger 4 of those tiles, right? So, and that feels, like just weirdly limiting. Like, again, it's like, there's also a thing in that, like, halfway through where you pick up your park entrance where your Jeepo starts and you flip it over to become the welcome center, or maybe vice versa, I don't remember. And you put it somewhere far away, and now your Jeepo tour's going this way. And we were like, whoa, who cares?
I can definitely see, because every time you visit a tile, the excitement goes down because like people have already seen that. There's pictures on social media, like, oh, we've seen the Velociraptors tear a goat to pieces and get blood everywhere. Like, no one cares anymore. We're desensitized. So if you've really killed all of the like tiles around your entrance, sure, like it might be nice to move it and just not have to go through those anymore. But most of the time you haven't. And because like you can spread out so much, it's really not, like Tom said, it really wasn't that big a deal to move that.
It's just like, okay, now we do this. Oh. Cool. But here's another trick. Right here, boom. Take your welcome center, flip that bitch over, it becomes the park entrance and place it somewhere else.
What?
Whoa! Holy It's one of those, hey, here's a mid-game twist that does almost nothing. And now you bring up the excitement level thing, which I'm going to use as a segue to talk about component quality, because this component quality is phenomenal. We actually have the Dinosaur, the Kickstarter version. We have the metal coins. Do you hear that? Hang on. Yeah, one more. I'm going to add the sound of a fart.
Is it funny that, like, metal board game coins are higher quality than actual money we use?
I never use actual money. Come on.
Like if this game just had, like, quarters and dimes and nickels in it, I'd be like, these coins aren't very high quality.
This is trash. But no, like, so all these pieces are, like, screen printed with the dinosaurs on them. So this is a higher quality component-wise than Dinosaur Island is, and I think Dinosaur Island had great quality. With one huge exception, we don't even have them out there somewhere. These little teeny tiny cardboard pieces with with numbers on them that are supposed to be for the excitement level trackers. Don't use them. Go grab those.
Yeah.
Go get the smallest dice you can find. I mean, we probably could have found smaller dice, but these are totally fine. These D&D
use them for counters and like Magic and games a lot.
Yeah, these ones are perfect for
measuring excitement
because they were a little big, but they definitely fit in that era and are in that area and
they're less fiddly. The little tiles are too small and fiddly, like
too small.
Gross.
And also the tiles are too big. Like this game, production quality is great, but the table hogness is insane. I played this at a buddy's house who doesn't have an awesome game topper, and we had to pull up a side table to like hold the round tracker and score tracker and a couple other things because we were just running out of space.
But even with a game topper, which is a pretty large like surface area,
if you want to know, we have the Watson. Check that out.
But like Will was overlapping my board with his tiles, and I was like going off the edge of the table with the 3D park.
Part of that has to do with where you place the tiles, but yeah, it just in general that type of thing is going to come up a lot. It's like crazy. And there's a really nice bag, so you can randomly draw out these DNA dice. Yeah, these DNA dice that you'll put up and draft from. So I guess they are different, but not very. So the pulling from the bag thing always feels kind of like, I mean, I guess if you've played it a bunch, you'll be able to examine them and be like, oh, this die has more of that color than that one does, but they don't seem that different.
Speaking of dice, we do have our nice little E-Raptor dice tower, which is very on point thematic-wise, which is too small for the DNA dice.
Yeah, those are good.
But these little danger dice, it's perfect.
Yeah. Oh, that one went through.
Like,
see, wait.
If you're
what are we talking about? This works.
If you are determined, you can make it happen.
So you should get it for the DNA dice exclusively. But no, E-Raptor is really dope. You should check that out. They have other dice towers and stuff. But also, they have an insert for Dinosaur World, an officially licensed one or whatever. We don't have it, but it was like the first thing I saw on their website when I was like, let me see what other dice towers they have real quick. Boom. Insert.
It's cool.
Yeah.
Check it out. One of the things that you mentioned earlier that was like both good and bad was the security threat balancing, because everything you do in this game basically has consequences. Cause it's and like again, thematic. You're running a park with like man-eating dinosaurs in it. It's going to be dangerous, so you need to make sure your security is ready for it.
Shoot her! Shoot her!
But it definitely had that, like, it was a limiting factor to balance those things. And it's really important to know that, because everything you do is bad, and you have to account for it. Which, like, okay, it's a cool mechanic to know about, but I did feel like it was very limiting to the game. It wasn't just like, I'm building this awesome park and there's stuff everywhere. It was... I had to deal with the accounting of like, well, if I'm going to get some velociraptors, I need to make sure I get a security station to balance it.
It's definitely I want to do a lot of stuff, but I really can't. I have to do... Or you could just suffer the consequences and ignore security, which one of my buddies did. I don't know if he ignored it as much as he rolled really bad and he just got a lot. But he ended up being in first place until we did the endgame scoring thing, and he lost like 40 or 60 points or something huge and put him in dead last. So when comparing this one to Dinosaur Island, honestly, they're pretty similar. They differ. They're like the same cake with different icing. You know, the steps and like the overall idea of how you're building out your park, and you have the paddock, and you have to build up dinosaurs, the threat and security, the different DNA, and all that stuff feels very much the same. And I actually kind of like Dinosaur Island a little bit better. And it's one. I definitely don't want to keep both though. That's what I kept thinking. Like I was playing this, and I'm like, why would I need to own both? And I'm like, I'll let Wes keep this one, and I'll keep Dinosaur Island or whatever. I mean, he hasn't played Island, so maybe he'll play Island and be like, well, let's just not keep.
He's not going to because I'm keeping it.
He's never gonna. No, but like maybe we'll just both have Dinosaur Island or something. The thing is, this isn't bad. If you've never played either and you played this one, you would be like, wow, this is cool. You know, I like the system or whatever. But just in general, I'm like, it's so much the same thing. It's so similar. And this is almost just like a little bit clunkier. There's more going on. There's a little bit more complexity, kind of. But at the end of the day, if you're going to buy one, I would get Dinosaur Island.
And I think I can agree with that, even though I've never played Dinosaur Island. Like, the complaints that I had about this were a lot of the limiting factors to the game, which, as you described, are less or non-existent in Dinosaur Island.
Yeah, there were things where he was like, I don't know how much I like this. I'm like, oh, that's not in Dinosaur Island.
Yeah.
He was like this Jeeple Tour thing. I'm like, yeah, you don't have to. I mean, the Jeeple Tour gives you the bonus tokens. That's a really good thing. But yeah.
But again, your bonus tokens that you're using to beef up your security, which is another limiting factor of the game.
Get more money, which is something you need. Get more workers, which is something you need. Like, they're bonuses that are things you need, not extra stuff to have, really, you know?
I guess for me, it was like the thought of like building a dinosaur theme park. I just wanted to be like, it's just overabundant and indulgent and it's crazy. And I just spent more time like trying to balance my budget than like, you know, doing all the things I wanted to do, which is too much like real life.
So I think we'd say that overall, I recommend Dinosaur World. I recommend Dinosaur Island over, but I do like this system. I'm a fan of these mechanics, this overall, the way you build the park. I don't know how I'm trying to come up with synonyms for the word system, but I like this system, okay? It's pretty good. I would recommend it. Wes?
It's one that I'm not going to complain about playing, but I'll probably never grab this game off the shelf and be like, let's play Dinosaur World. That's just me though.
Yeah, and honestly, I think because I played Dinosaur Island is what makes me like this a little bit more, is because I'm like, oh, it's like that game I like, but just a little different. And you're like, this doesn't mesh perfectly.
Yeah.
Right? Maybe if you played Dinosaur Island... Well, now I'm wondering if you played Dinosaur Island second, are you going to be like, oh, this is just like that game that has all those flaws I don't like?
We'll have to find out. Either way, there will be links to both Dinosaur World and Dinosaur Island and E-Raptor in the description box below. If you haven't seen Tom's thoughts on Dinosaur Island, watch those as well.
Yeah, we'll just put hella links down there, because there's also going to be a link for Game Toppers. Whoa, we already did that earlier, so I don't... Check them out. Also, subscribe to our channel so you'll never be bored.
Grr.
Boom. Oh.
Were you drunk when you showed up here?
No.
So that's your disadvantage. Advantage. Shut the f*** up, Will.